In this video, I'm going to show you how to install the ONWOTE 4K 16-channel PoE security camera system. This security camera system is loaded with technology, and if you're new to this channel, my name's Josh, and it's all about DIY to save a ton of money. So be sure to subscribe, ring that bell so you get notification every time I release a new video, and hammer that like button for me. That's all I ask in return for making this video. Installing one of these systems really isn't that difficult, but let me show you how to do it. This video was sponsored by ONWOTE. ONWOTE sponsored a video about a year ago where I installed the original security camera system in this house. So I'm going to be upgrading to this system, and this system has AI technology built into it, so it's a much more advanced system. So I'm going to go over how to install this system along with some clips from the last video of how to install the wiring and etc. So this is kind of a upgrade / installation video. So thank you ONWOTE for sponsoring this video. I first began the installation by unpackaging the contents from the camera system kit. Now that I got the camera system unpackaged, I want to go over what is in the package. We got 100-foot rolls of Cat5 Ethernet cable that's going to be for the power over Ethernet, and it sends the data via one cable, which is really nice. And we got 8 of these, and then we got 8 60-foot, so it's nice for our long runs. We got the 100-foot, and then for our shorter runs, we can use the 60-foot rolls, and we have them all right here. And then with that, we have our NVR. This is where we store the local data. So whenever we are recording continuously, you need a place to store it, so it stores it right here. And then you can download an app onto your phone that you can view your cameras, and I'll show you that here in just a bit. But in this NVR package, we got the NVR itself, we got the power block, a mouse, an Ethernet cable, and then we got an HDMI cable to go up to your TV. We got 4 stickers that we can place on the outside of our business or home to let people know that, hey, our business or home is under surveillance, so you don't want to do anything that's going to be out of line. So that's pretty cool. And we also got the owner's manual, of course. And then we got 16 of our cameras that's going to be the 4K PoE. This has the AI technology built all into it right here in a nice little camera, and this thing is very discreet. And this is actually a good feel as far as the weight goes. It doesn't feel super heavy, but yet it feels solid, and it's actually a metal housing, which is really nice. We got our Ethernet end where it's going to plug in, and then we got in each camera box, came with screws to mount it along with some anchors. We got this that's going to help protect the connection from the weather, and then we got a template for when we go to mount it. So we have all that in the box ready to go, and here are all the cameras. So that is everything in the packaging. I put together clips from the previous video of wiring the original camera system, and if you want to see that in full detail, I'll put a video link in the top right hand corner of the screen. I first cut a hole in the wall that's the size of a 2-gang box, and then I used rope, a drill with a 2-inch hole saw on it, spray foam, and fish tape along with the supplied Ethernet cable, and I bought my own Ethernet cable for really long runs out to my garage workshop. I then used a drill with a 2-inch hole saw and fished my fish tape down through and hooked a string tube, pulled it up through, then tied the end of the Ethernet cable onto that, and then pulled them all through at once, then spray foamed the hole shut, and then did the same from below. And then we got all the Ethernet cable into where the NVR is going. Then where the actual camera was going to be installed, I drilled the holes right in the soffit, and then used the fish tape to grab the other end of the Ethernet cable and pulled them through. And that's how I ran all the cable around the house. If you remember from about a year ago, this is where I installed my ONWOTE system then, and this is where I'm going to place the new NVR in system as well. So this is my TV up on the wall. Here's the NVR. So I'm going to power this off first before I install the new cameras outside. Now that that's powered off, let's go install those cameras. Here's my old ONWOTE camera that I have installed. I'm going to uninstall this first before installing the new camera. The first thing we would have to use if we were installing this on a wall before there was an Ethernet cable is we would simply take this template and we could stick it right to anywhere on the wall. In this case, it would be right here at the center. But let's say you stuck it there, then you would have the template for where the holes are to be installed and the hole that needs drilled. So this looks like a 5/8 inch hole or so, should be enough to put your Ethernet cable through. And this Ethernet cable was actually one that did not come with the original ONWOTE. I actually bought these separate, and I'll put a link in the description below to these new cameras and to this Ethernet cable. The next thing I'll need is to unpackage and install this cover for the connection in order to keep it weather tight. I'm first going to slide this over the end of the Ethernet cable. Then this rubber piece will go over the cable. We'll then place this connector right over the end of that Ethernet cable. Here are the screws sent with the camera. The screws came with drywall anchors. I won't be needing them because I have a block here behind where I put this wire through. So I only need these 3 screws to anchor the cameras. And that's where making these holes for the drywall anchors using the template is important. I'm now going to take the rubber O-ring and place around the end of the camera where the Ethernet cable plugs into. And then we're going to snap this together for our connection. And it simply just clicks right in, like so. And then this is going to slide right over this and twist on. Then we slide this rubber bushing over or inside of the connector, and then we're going to tighten this down. And when we tighten this down, that's what's going to give it a nice weather seal for our connection. And something that's really important to note, because this is an indoor installation, this part really isn't necessary. This is mainly for exterior, but I'm going to put it on anyways for demonstration purposes. As you can see, that's a nice weather-tight seal. Our O-ring has sealed around the connection, and we sealed right here around the cable. So now we simply just fish this back through, and this part is not necessary for this installation. I'm now going to take off the screw cover on the camera. Just unscrews like so. I'm now going to place the 3 screws right into the block behind the drywall. And you can use a drill or a driver like I'm using here to drive these screws. I'm now going to fish that back through. This goes back over the camera. Then we place this back over the mount and thread it on. And that's all there is to installing the cameras. I will say this camera is much sleeker looking and it's a more solid housing. And I do like the all metal construction, very nice and solid. I really think that's a much better camera than this older style, but this one serves its purpose as well. But as you can see, this is more bulky and this one's less bulky with more technology. To install the new cameras, I had to uninstall the old cameras as I just mentioned. Now in order to uninstall the old ones, I did have to cut some of the caulking that I used to install the first set, and I did re-caulk some of the holes that were left from the first system screws. But after it was all said and done, it turned out to be a beautiful installation, and they do leave a nice sleek look once they're all done. Now that I got all the cameras connected outside, I'm going to come in here and switch out this old box with the new box. As far as our connections in the back is concerned, we got our HDMI port here. Then we got a USB for our mouse that's going to plug right into here. And then each camera, the cat cable is going to plug into here. And then we got our LAN cable that goes to our modem router. And then our power cord plugs in here. And this is to turn the NVR off and on. I'm now going to turn the power on. I have the TV on that's hooked to the unit, and we're going to see what we got. All right, here's our startup, and it says monitor supports 1080p. Do we want to change it? Yes. We'll hit OK, and then this is where we set up everything, your admin password and all that. So clearly I'm going to do this and not have this on camera. It's now asking if I want to do this start wizard. And if you don't want to use the start wizard, I'll show you how to set this up generally. So if we come over here to system, This is your general setup for your language, video format, etc. And then this is where you can name your device whatever you want. And then if we go to date and time, we can set up whatever time we want here. And then we put our date, and then you can just pick 12-hour, 24-hour, your time zone, date format, etc. Then you can do NPT if you'd like as well. And then if you can also go to DST and set this up, and output configuration. And this is all just general stuff like I just said. Then right here on this tab is the storage. As you can see, we have our storage here, and I've already been running this system for a few days. So I just wanted to show you that you have your storage here. And then we have this smart, which I'm not sure exactly what all this entails, but you have that as well. Then we have our AI stats, which I'm going to show you more about the AI here in just a bit. And then we have our alarm prompts. So you can do different settings as far as setting up your motion alarms, all of these other options here on the left hand side. Again, you would have to go through and really dissect this. I'm no expert on all of these settings, but you can disarm and arm your system from here. So if you want it to, again, do some kind of siren or turn your warning lights on for whatever reason, you can do all that from here. Your record setting, right here is where you would adjust all that. The capture right here, and how you want it encoded is from this as well. When I installed the camera, the lens needs flipped. So as you can see, I installed the camera upside down from what is in the factory. So if we flip the lens, it's going to flip it upright. And then if we click angle flip, because this is the wrong angle to what it naturally is, it will flip it that way as well, which that's a great thing that ONWOTE did, because the last system I had actually did not have that, and it would have been useful a handful of times. And then while we're here, you have full color mode, day and night mode in the schedule. Always keep it in full color mode. That's what makes it look the best. And then automatic mode, this will give you dusk to dawn settings with your lights, because these do have lights that will come on at nighttime, and I'll show you a clip of that in a bit, which is very nice. And you can turn your sensitivity to whatever you want with that. So that is a great option here on these cameras. Then you have these other settings, which you shouldn't have to mess with these, but if you do need to adjust the white balance, whatever, you can do that from here. If we right click with the mouse, it'll take us back to our other cameras. So that is where you would do that. Then here is where you would pick your whatever you want as your thumbnail from the image, and then your motion is set here as well, and then all that. So I really want to go into the AI in depth. I'm now going to go over the AI technology, and the really cool feature that makes this system shine is the face detection. And with this face detection, we have the recognition. So I'm going to show you how to set this up, and you cannot have the human and vehicle detection on at the same time. So I'm going to have to first turn these off. Then we're going to apply, and now we're going to go back to the face detection. And with this, we're going to switch these to on, and we're going to apply. And now I'm going to go over to setup, and let's go over to channel 1 for instance. I'm first going to drag this over here and make this bigger. That's how I've been doing it, and it works the best that way. So I'm going to put this right here. Then we're going to save that, and now I'm going to go through and do that to all the cameras. Now that I got the face detection turned on, I'm going to go get detected and show you how that works. I'm now back in from walking out to my workshop. If I come down to statistics, as you can see, there's 100% of all face detections was a stranger. That's because I have not assigned my face to any type of a allow list or block list group. So if I go to face attendance, if you go to repeat visitors and just do a search, right here is my face. And if I double click that, it's going to show each time this quote unquote repeat visitor came into view. And this was just that once that I walked outside. So now if I want to attach that to a group, I just come back here to my face search, come back to visitors, and then I come back to this screen, right click and import to, and let's say allow list, and hit OK. This is where you fill out your name and all this, and I'm just going to type in excellent laborer, and then we're going to hit import, and boom, now I am saved my face as the excellent laborer on my system. So every time that I appear, it's going to show the excellent laborer under the repeat visitor and face detection. But if we come out of this screen and go over the recognition, and if we come over here to edit, as you can see, I am now saved as one of the allowed people on the allowed list. And you can actually import and export your data as well, which is pretty cool. And now if we come back here to alarm, you can actually adjust your alarms and whatnot for each type of list, which is really neat. From the app, to select the AI face recognition, you can come over here to set up face detection. Then you can turn on whichever camera you want to turn on and off. And then we go to recognition here. You can add face. And then from here, you can simply add your face if you really want it to be super accurate. And then if we come down here to search event, you can do face, and then you can search your allow list, block list, strangers, whatever. And if we search them all as of right now, we have all of the incidences of the facial detection. And then you can simply just go through all of them, which is super helpful if you're looking for a particular person or whatnot that came through your business or home, really wanting to keep an eye on things. So very cool. I really like the AI face detection and recognition. That's going to be the biggest selling point to this system in my opinion. And then along with the face detection, we have the LCD, which is the line crossing detection. Here I have it set up on my camera too, and with this it's so cool. You can put a line on an object that's in the image. It's a digital line, of course. And then whenever somebody or something, as far as a vehicle or non-motorized vehicle as well, crosses this line, it will count that as a crossing. So you can keep track of however many objects or people cross this line going from A to B, and you can even select from B to A going one way or A to B going one way. So I have it set going back and forth. So this is a really cool option, especially in the business setting, as far as keeping track of the amount of people that's coming in and out of a building or something of that nature. Very cool. So if we go back here, we're going to look at the RSD, which is the rare sound detection. So at the rare sound detection, if there is any detection of a baby crying, dog barking, or gunshot, it will save that and alert you as well if you choose to. And again, those are the AI detections, which are super helpful in a lot of scenarios. Now I'm going to show you the PDVD. This is the human and vehicle detection. This is the one that I'm going to have set for the most part for my home. This is going to detect any vehicle or pedestrian that is around the image, or in the image I should say. So if we click the setting here, this just gives you all your settings that you want. You can even pick non-motorized vehicle, but I just got the pedestrian and motorized vehicle selected. So with that detection, that's going to be your general detection for most people. So that's just something I wanted to show you as well. One more that's under the detections is the perimeter intrusion detection. So with the perimeter intrusion detection, it is what it says. If it is within a perimeter, it will let you know when there is an intruder in that area. So that is something you could use as well. So now let's get to the AI analysis tools. So we got cross counting, which is CC. So with cross counting, it's going to be something that is similar to the line cross detection. So this will actually count the number of crossings in a line. So if we come over here, we switch it from, let's say, here to here. You come over to your screen and draw a line. So with this line, that's going to give you the amount of objects going from A to B in this case, and it's going to count them. So again, for a business scenario, that's going to be extremely helpful. So I'm going to get out of that screen. I don't need that here in this house, but if I had a business and need to know the number of crossings to the T, that is what I would use. And then we got QD. With QD, this one is something that keeps track of a queue. Let's say you had a line of people. This will keep track of the number of people in a line. And again, for a business, extremely helpful. And with this, it will detect the status of the queue as far as the length and the staying time. So very helpful for a business, especially some type of retail business. So cool. And then if we jump down to CD, over here at CD, we have crowd density. So if the crowd density, this is going to detect the crowd gathering that's going to be used in a certain area. So the total number of people detected in a certain area. If it exceeds a limit that you place here, it will alert you. So it's going to be to make sure there ain't too many people in one area. So that's going to be really helpful in some scenarios for a business. And then a really cool one that I was playing with earlier is the HM, which is heat map. So I have that turned on all my cameras just because it's kind of a neat thing. If we come over here, let's say the heat map on this one, we have it saved to cover this whole screen. So let's go take a look at it here. And again, I have this turned on all my cameras. So in order to view that, we go down to the stats, and let's say we want to go to camera 7. And we want a space heat map here, and we're going to search that on a daily report. I turned this on this morning, so as you can see, there's much more traffic here on the road than there is in my driveway, and no traffic here. And this is the legend here at the bottom that's going to tell you the red is the most heat and the blue is the least heat. So right here, there is more activity than anywhere else on this image. So we can click through, let's say 3. So that was me standing here earlier when I was recording some footage. So I was here with the most movement. And again, I turned this on this morning. So you can also go to weekly report. And it ain't going to be much different because I just turned this on this morning. But let's just say on the camera I had on the other day. So this is the one that's been on the longest. And then if we go back to a daily report, you can see it's going to look a little different just because that's just from the daily from today. Or you can select a different date. Let's go back to the 22nd, search that. As you can see, that's when it was first turned on, a little different. And then we can switch to weekly, and then that's going to look a little more accurate too. So that is just a really cool thing that they have on this ONWOTE system. All the AI technology here is extremely helpful. And then as far as the facial recognition, you can have somebody's face scanned and actually have them labeled as who they are. And you can do this allow list and block list. So you can actually allow and block certain people and get alerted whenever that happens. And then we also have stranger that is thrown in there as well. And then we have our human and vehicle detection here. Then as far as the stats from the human vehicle detection, as you can see here, here's from the day. This is the daily. And it's going to show you on the hour what type of AI detection there was for human and vehicles. Then we can switch to weekly, so right here. And then we can switch to the monthly. And this is going to show you from a zoomed out monthly view. Here's quarterly, and we can even go to the year. So cool. So that's the whole month here of March, which again, this system is new. That's why there's not too much data there. And this is on the hour here. So nice. And then if you go to the cross counting, you can do that as well. And then we got the heat map report that I already showed you. So many options here with the AI. The AI on this thing is so incredible. And if you want to set all these other things, again, for the facial recognition, here's where you would do that. Then if we go to database management, is where you would manage the people you have saved in your system for the facial recognition. So many things you can do with this system. So I'm going to go back to the main menu here. I flipped all my cameras to the image to what we want. So that's all there is to that. If we go to the top right of the screen, this is where we have our options for our AI notifications. So that's our AI stats, just the number of alerts that we got. Here was from my front porch where I placed that line for 12 notifications so far. Then you can click this to view all the snippets of all the alerts that we have gotten. And then we can tap this to have our cameras fit in while that's open, but we don't need all that open at once. And then you can hit the setup for whatever you want at there. And then down here, You have your system, manual, light, and siren, which I'll show you that in a bit. You can arm your system, disarm, unconnect, connect, preview. You have all these options at the bottom here, and if you want to change your layout to 4 cameras, if you want to change it to your 9 cameras, if you want to change it to 12 cameras, which 12 works for me because I have 11 cameras, so I can see them all at once. So you have so many options in this thing. I'm going to go over the app that you're going to use to control the camera system. And the camera systems app that you're going to want to download is called RX Cam View right there. All right, I got the app set up and you're actually viewing this footage right through the camera as we speak. So I'm going to double tap on the camera that I'm in. I'm here in this film that's going to be from the camera footage itself, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to show you what it's like to turn the lights on that are going to be used as warning lights. We simply just tap this little icon and it flashes red and blue as if it's the cops on site or something of that nature, which that's going to scare off any intruder. And then if we want to throw a siren in with that, we can tap this little bell icon and it's going to tell you it might disturb the neighbor. So just keep that in mind. It's very important. And that is very loud. And I'm pretty sure anybody looking to break and entering would be totally scared away by that. So we're going to turn that off, turn the lights off. And now these lights are going to shine white if you have them on automatic. So I have that at nighttime, and here's a clip of that. As you can see, it's a nice lit up area around the house. And then if we want to go to our notifications, and this is what the notifications look like when they pop up onto the phone. You can turn on alerts to be pushed directly to you for push notifications. You can have your AI notifications here. Abnormal, I don't have anything abnormal at this time. And this detects your line crossings and everything of that nature. So if we tap the little icon with the film, it takes you directly to alert. As you can see, there was a vehicle driving by at this time. So that's pretty nice and handy. So it's going to do all that for you. And if you want to see different layouts, you can click through to 4 to 9. Then we got 16. We have this layout here. I mean, this thing is so customizable. Then we can chime in to the camera. So let's go back to our camera that we just had. So let's say I wanted to talk through it. I have the audio turned on. So it's going to be echoing through the film because it's recording the audio and then it replays it back. So it's going to have an echo. So I really can't demonstrate that too well, but let me step out for a moment and do that. So if I come back here, all right, I'm outside. I got the audio turned on. And if I simply tap on, hit the screen here and a little mic shows up. Okay, so I'm talking directly through the camera. And now if I want to silence the speaker itself, I can do that and mute it, or I can tap it, turn back on. So if I want to hang up the two-way conversation, I simply hit that red button there to hang up. So now I'm going to come back in. All right, now I turned the audio off to the phone so I can talk again. And then there's all kinds of things. You can stream to a different device by clicking this top button, telling you need to be hooked to your local network to do so. You can shut the camera screen off from here if you don't want to view it. You can put different situations here. We can go over here to change from HD, clear, or fluid. I like clear. It just gives you the most 4K view. And then if we come back here, we have all of our different options. If we come here to remote settings, here is where you can do a lot of the setting up that we did from the NVR itself. So you got these options here on the app, which is really nice. And again, the AIs here, you can set up all your stuff from here. So cool, very useful for most people. And then from the app, we can do a screen record. So it's recording right now. Then we tap it, it saved the clip that we recorded. Say we can take a picture of the screen by tapping the camera icon. And then if we come back here, we go to file list. Then right here is that picture. And then if we hit our video, hit play. Right there is the snippet of the video that we recorded. So it's so awesome. And another thing too that I noticed that I really like, if you come back here and let's say you wanted to view the camera footage, you tap that little icon there. You can view several cameras at once in this particular time frame. And then if you want to fast forward, you can fast forward up to 16x, which is really fast and very helpful. Here are some clips of the cameras on at night. As you can see, the lights light the areas up really well along with the night vision, so you can see really well at night with these cameras. If you'd like to see the previous video where I did the original installation of the PoE camera system by ONWOTE, check out this video. It'll help you out.